How's it going, guys? Today we're going to do a full tune-up on a 2013 Dodge Ram. This is a 1500 Express 4x4 with the 5.7 Hemi. Going to do spark plugs, all the fluids, filters, front axle, rear axle, transfer case, transmission. It's got just over 70,000 miles on it. It's got the original plugs in it still, and they should be replaced every 30,000 miles on these with the copper plugs. They've got the Champion plugs. This one's got the originals. It's not running too well. Not much power when you're cruising about 40-45 on the highway and you nail it. It just doesn't have any guts to it. So get a new set of plugs in it and do all other maintenance stuff and get her running good. Alright, let's get started. Alright, first thing we're going to start with on this Dodge is the transmission fluid. We'll drop the oil pan on it. This has got the deep sump oil pan because it's four-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive has a shallow sump. It's the RFE transmission. I believe it's got 14 8mm bolts that hold the pan on. They do recommend that you take the Y pipe loose. As you can see right here, it does block the pan, but that is about another half an hour to remove that pipe. I'm just going to leave it on. It's easy enough as it is. We'll just work the pan right, and looks like we'll go to the front because that sump on the front won't be able to clear to go move to the back, so we'll take the bolts out and slide it forward. Messy, it'll probably be a little messy, but I got a nice big drip pan to catch everything. Let's get started on that pan. Alright, we'll get some of these bolts out of here. Should get somewhere between 6 and 8 quarts out of this. Looks like there's a torque screw holding the filter on. Let's see if we can get that off there. There's a T25 screw on that transmission filter that holds it up inside. Have to rig this to work with a pair of vice grips in a bit, because if you don't take the pipe down, because it's the way they've got that pipe in here. Yep, there we go. Got a filter up in. Filter off. Get our pan all cleaned up. Just going over it with the razor blade to get all the old silicone off. Alright, next we could put we'll get our new cartridge filter up in there. What you want to do is check your old one, make sure that the seal's off, and then there's not an O-ring up at the top. Now what we can do is take some fluid, put it on this O-ring. That way we know it seals good. Screw our filter back up in here. Do just like an oil filter on an engine. Once it touches, go 3/4 of a turn snug. Go. Now put our other filter back up in there, our pickup filter. Again, we want to make sure our old filter's still got the seal on it. It does not look like it does. It might still be up inside. Let's see, where was it? Yep, it's still up in there. That's why I gotta check stuff like this. Alright, now we got it. There's our old seal. It was stuck up in that hole. I didn't use a gasket on this pan. I don't like the gaskets that come in the kits because they're rubber. They're not like a cork or paper. The rubber gaskets, in my experience, have seemed pop out of the edges or swell up a lot more and pop out. Whereas when you just use silicone and you let it sit for a little bit and then tighten them down, I've never had a leak. But almost every time I use a gasket, when I first started doing this, I'd always get leaks. I use Permatex, the ATF sealant. I like to use it what it's designed for. I don't use the Max Black on transmissions. I use the Max Black mainly on front axles, rear axles, or the front axles that have a cover that's removable at least, and engine gaskets and seals. That's what I use the black on. I use the transmission sealant on transmissions only, or on transfer cases, because they take most of them do take ATF. This transmission, again, it lost probably I'd have to say 5 to 8 quarts. It holds 16 if you drain the converter, which I'm not going to do. So we'll start off, we'll put 4 quarts in it and see what it comes out to on the dipstick. And then the other thing we got to do is change the fluid in the transfer case. This is the RFE 6-speed transmission, and the transfer case is 44-45. It's a Borg Warner. Both of these, the transfer case and the transmission, they both use ATF plus 4. Come on. There we go. The transfer case takes about 2 quarts. If you have the Borg Warner 44-44, there's a sticker right on the back of it that lets you know the identification, so you know which one you have. The 44-44 uses a special Mopar fluid because there's synchros inside of it that you cannot use ATF plus 4 in it. It will damage its internals. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to tighten these pan bolts down a lot. I'll get them snug down, then I'll let it sit for about 30 minutes. During that time, I'll do the fluid in the front axle and the transfer case, because those will be real quick to run through. And then I can, once those are done, then I'll torque down the bolts on here. Alright, this transfer case is real simple. What I'm going to do first is remove the fill plug. That way I know I can refill the unit if I have to. Oh, not if I have to. I know that I can refill the unit. Pull our drain plug out. Now what I'm going to do for this ATF so I can pour it in, I'm just going to take the top off some gear oil and use it on this transmission fluid bottle. You can pour it right in that way, or you can use a fluid transfer pump already making a mess. Just going to put it in until it starts coming out the hole. get our transmission fluid in. So far we got 3 quarts. Here's our 4th. We put this one in and check our fluid level on our dipstick. This will be 5. Alright, fluid level's all set. Alright, get our fill plug loose. And we get a drain plug. Alright, put a drain plug back in. These just have O-rings on them, these plugs, so I recommend you replace the O-rings after you take it loose like this. What I do on here? Here we go. Tighten our drain plug. Yeah. Alright, looks like it's full. So our front axle looked like it took just over a quart.